Welcome to Thursday. Here's our tweet for the day. Well, I got two of them. Parents were really saying some funny things during this time. Here's a parent who said, "Whoever said the days are long but the years are short, well, they did not know about 2020, right?" You can agree about this one. Here's another one that's really funny. A mom said, I want to be responsible with my children and their participation in social media. So I have cut the kids' time. I have cut back the kids' access to electrical devices to 14 hours a day. I have cut back the kids' access to electrical devices to 14 hours a day. To me, that's priceless. Here's your question of the day. What is the most treasured family heirloom in your home? What's the most treasured family heirloom in your home? You might not have one, but you might. Discuss that. We are going over lessons from the life of Joseph. God has placed the brothers of Joseph in a position to change their label. From those who chose to flesh out their hatred to now being willing to sacrifice self for the good of others. A quick application question here is, do you have a label? Do people know you for certain things that you do or don't do that, quite frankly, needs to change? We've always got the opportunity to change our label. And God is using Joseph to test them. Remember, will they abandon Simeon? Will they abandon Benjamin like they did Joseph? Will they seek to get away with not paying for their original shipment of grain? And now, will Jacob even allow the brothers to return to Egypt with Benjamin? We pick up the story in chapter 43, verses 1 through 15. Push the pause button. As a family, read chapter 43 of Genesis, verses 1 through 15. The urgency of the famine was forcing Jacob's hand. The original supply of grain has run out. There's only one place in the world to turn to go get more grain. It's the one that's controlled by this person that has Simeon in custody and now is asking for Benjamin. Now, we know him to be Joseph because we're the omniscient reader. They just know him as some Egyptian lord. And he's made it quite clear. No Benjamin, no more grain. Interesting again, the developments of the brother. Then Judah, the brother that would be the father of the tribe that Jesus descended from. But Judah, he's the brother that originally suggested that the brothers sell Joseph to make some money off of him. And 20 years later has changed, and Judah is willing to sacrifice himself so that Benjamin would remain safe. Jacob is really left with no choice. Send Benjamin or the family starves. It's really no choice at all. So he makes the obvious choice. But Jacob's instructions, he's basically to the brothers, now it's 10 brothers with Benjamin who are going back to get Simeon. His instructions are, let's go over the top in displaying generosity. So when you return with Benjamin, prepare a gift basket. And then he says, here's the best that we have to give. Put balm in it, honey, gum, myrrh, pistachios, almonds. And then he even says, pay twice what he asks for the shipment of grain. Plus, pay the original amount that was returned to you. Finally, we see this in his prayer. Jacob submits to God and his will. You can tell by someone's prayers who they submit to. Are they just praying for their comforts and conveniences? Well, if so, they're not submitting to God. But here he says, may God grant you compassion in the sight of this man and release Simeon and Benjamin. You kind of see a little bit of Jesus in there Not my will, but yours be done. God has orchestrated the last 20 years. And he's arranged it in such a way to get Jacob's family to a place where they're willing to give the best that they've got to give. They're bringing back the best that their land has to offer, but they're also willing to sacrifice for the greater good of others. They're willing to give even their own lives. Up to this point, probably their motto in life was, do just enough to get by. What God demands of us, to give the best that we've got to give. You know, the question during this quarantine, are we giving the best that we've got to give, or are we just doing enough to get by? God is hollering to us, give the best that you've got to give. What's your family motto? Probably the majority of us don't have a family motto. But if you had one, what would you now like for your family motto to be? Great time to sit around and go, what would our family motto be? I think for Jacob's family, they got to the point where they said, you know what, we're going to give the best that we've got to give. Pretty good family motto. Have a great Thursday, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Friday.